Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here, and today we're going to be talking about Alpha Flight. Alright, so Alpha Flight is my favorite comic book of all time by my favorite uh, comic creator of all time, John Byrne. They were basically created by Byrne in his run on the X-Men um, as foils to the X-Men. They basically are the team that Wolverine left when he was at Weapon X and he left to join the X-Men, and they were coming to get him back. So John just designed all these characters basically to literally be counterpoints for the X-Men. And we'll get into that, I guess, as we go along. But anyway, so this is, they eventually had their own series because of fans loved them. And John always saw them as throwaway characters, which really chaps my butt, but whatever. It doesn't take away from how much I love them. He did 28 issues, including 3 double-sized issues of the series before departing. And I think it began and ended with him, so I don't want to hear nothing about no other Alpha Flight after him with... I won't even go into how horrible it got after he left. But anyway, so this is classic. This is a nutshell. This is like if it were a great show on Netflix. It had 28 episodes, and it was over. So I can't even tell you how hard it was to come by this trade paperback. This is Alpha Flight Classics. They did 3 volumes to collect the 28 issues. I think 29's in the last one. We'll discover as we go along. This is basically all written and drawn by John Byrne with some help along the way by inkers here and there. And I think Andy Younkus pretty much covered the whole thing. So this is, if you see this on eBay, it sells for like a ton. So you have to jump on it. I don't know why it's so hard to come by. The other 2 volumes are so much easier. You think the second one would be harder to come by because they always under-ordered the second one? Anyway. So this is just basically your basic trade paperback. Here's issue 1. I thought this cover was a little lame compared to the art they were using to advertise the series, which was just a beautiful illustration. This is definitely more comic book of the time. I'd love to know the story behind how the other... Maybe because they used it so much in the promotion, that's why it didn't sit in here. That's part of it. If you guys know Alpha Flight, you know that image, and maybe it'll be here along the way. This is such a great shot there. Guardian, waxing nostalgia. Department H has closed and shut down the Canadian superheroes, cut down funding. This is setting up the villain, this crazy guy out in the middle of a field, doing a chalk outline crop circle of a big demon, a shaman. You know, my doctor always kept a skull with jewelry on it in his office. Oh, my beloved Aurora and North Star. These are my... I love these guys so much. They're my favorites. There's Aurora and North Star. I love these guys so much. They're my favorites. I must have some sort of a twin fetish because I love like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. I love the Wonder Twins, but Aurora and North Star are definitely my top favorite. And I love her split personality. I don't know what that says about me, but she's like a school teacher nun by day. And then Jean Paul is like a big stud, even though he's in the closet, because he's an Olympic level skier, but he uses his powers to cheat. But hey, you know what? I mean, it's not like he's taking steroids. They're God's steroids. Being a mutant. Wow. I mean, if he's trying to stay in the closet, I don't know that this magenta shirt and purple pants at the time in the 80s was such a good idea. Boy, this is like a Clark Kent Superman to the extreme. I mean, she looks dowdy and frickin' not hot for teacher at all. And then I love she's her other personality when she becomes Aurora. And Jean Paul is sort of like the one who keeps her in bay and pisses her off like no one else. It's Heather and Mac at their house. There's a little Volkswagen that they have. I think Byrne's first car was a Volkswagen or something. Hopefully they'll show a view of it with the license plate, because every big Byrne fan knows it's, should know the whole thing, but I think it's GNU something, which must have been his real license plate. I don't know. So anyway, you know, I love the casual reaction to your husband flying in the window in a superhero costume. Okay, so what is she doing here? Oh, she's calling, making a call to Alpha Flight for some reason, I guess. Oh yeah, maybe he was just like, it's over, forget it. I'm just gonna move on with my life. And then Heather was like, screw this. I'm gonna get into this like 80s Macintosh computer with 16,000 humongous buttons on it and call everyone. And then so there's Puck. Thank God she took him away from his job as a bar bouncer, because that doesn't seem very fulfilling. There's Marina. Marina kind of went the wayside. I don't know if Byrne didn't know what to do with her. He notoriously didn't, like he says he left the book because he ran out of ideas, but I can't imagine. Like, he built up so many things and left so many threads and so many cool things that could possibly happen, and it was completely dismantled. I don't want to say anything bad about Bill Mantlo because he is a great writer, but he went in a crazy direction that had nothing to do with any of this. Snowbird, I love Snowbird. Let's just suffice to say that I love Alpha Flight. So there's the twins. As you can see, she woke up from her disco nap and she's feeling a little sassier now. Gone are the horn-rimmed glasses and the uptight blouse with the collar up to her eyeballs. Puck, I don't care, is a great design. I don't care his legs are exposed and hairy. He's a little person. So that's inclusive, right? There's a gay person, there's a little person, there's a half goddess. I mean, shaman. It's so funny, 'cause I didn't realize till years later, but if you look, this is how you do like group costumes and have them be cohesive, and not identical. Like, they all have the same sort of like blasts, like sort of reminiscent of Guardians Maple Leaf, which this is like the best design costume ever. Right up there with Captain America and Spider-Man. And Byrne is inking himself on this issue. I love how Sasquatch gets batsed away and they fly by him and they just are going to go ahead and let him fall. Because he is Sasquatch, but hey, you know, I mean, what if he impaled himself on like a big sharp rock or something? I mean, look at where he wound up later, for God's sakes. Such a great effect of them clasping hands, and it creates a blinding, flashing light. And see, I feel like the potential here was limitless, and he would still be doing, like, he would be on issue like 500 or whatever if it were up to me. And at the end of this little adventure, they decide to stay together because it's fun hanging out, even though all they do is fight and hate each other. And there goes the neighborhood. Here we go. The second issue, Shadows of the Past. See, I mean, Guardian just looks so cool. He's definitely Canada's, like, Captain America. Like, I think it just is such a great design. Oh, there goes the twin. I love when Byrne inks his own art. A lot of Byrne fans are very particular about his art and have a lot of opinions about it. Shock. It boils across Alpha Flight. It's so funny. I remember reading this when it came out, and I was shocked when she disemboweled Puck. That's a scene apparently Byrne wanted to do with Wolverine and his inability to control his berserker rage, just to be like, pass the salt and then disembowel Kitty. And that would have been cool if that happened, but I guess he didn't stick around long enough on the X-Men to make that happen. See, the twins can even part the blue sea. John Byrne is just such a classic, great comic book artist. He just draws, everyone looks so cool. He draws superheroes great. He draws super villains great. I was just thinking how that would hold up by modern standards, but hey, drawn by Byrne, I think it would. Wow, we've come a long way. So this is sort of the origins, backup stories that John did. There was such a great balance here. Like, the stories weren't always the team all at once. They had their own stories. They had their own, like, sort of supporting cast. They had their own things going on. And this tells the evolution of the Guardian suit. No wonder why it blew up. Oh, my God. First, it started out like an iron lung. And then, yeah, that seems clunky. Anyway, this is like the best, one of the best covers in comic history. What's I think is so great about it too is if you know anything about John Byrne, he's colorblind. So for him to draw such like an amazing, basically black and white color cover, and he's going to see it exactly how he intended it to be. Like, there's just so much skill going on here with, I mean, the perspective there is ridiculous. Snowbird, the beautiful Snowbird. As one of my friends says, he does know how to draw fine-looking females, and he does. But his men are good-looking, too. I think he draws handsome men. I like his figures. Anyway, Snowbird can turn into any Arctic beast, so she's a polar bear right there. See, I love these team shots. I mean, I'm trying to get into collecting original art because it's so expensive and I can't afford it. So I thought that would be stupid. And then to want to collect John Byrne's Alpha Flight on top of it, it's got to be impossible to find. There's no way. So hit subscribe and like, because I need to start making money from this channel if I'm going to be able to afford to buy some original John Byrne art. Like, I would love to have these pages. Could you imagine? This has got to look great in person. A John Byrne trope, a female being tortured. But it was the 80s. It was completely acceptable back then. Very cinematic. Right there, landscapey looking. Namor. Namor's like Wonder Woman, and basically he's just running around in a bathing suit. But he really is in a bathing suit. The Invisible Girl before she became the Invisible Woman. I loved when that story, how they when they came back from the negative zone, their costumes changed color. And it's supposed to be black and white. Even though the blue highlights, it's like Spider-Man's costume is supposed to be black and red. The blue is supposed to be just highlights, like Superman's hair or this hair here. Hair here. Great Guardian pinup. Lots of circuitry going on there. That seems like a fire hazard waiting to happen for sure. Little cameo of Logan there. Great cover there. It's funny, he did do all the covers to Alpha Flight, but throughout his career, there'd been times where he would not draw certain covers, and he just draws such great covers. I don't know why he wouldn't want to, but hey, that's his business, right? So, great shot of Susan in the fantastic card. I like how he does these broken panels and the like different geometric shapes of the panels. Adds some fun to it. It seems like a lot of modern comic artists are very like panoramic, like very like this, like, you know, like they want it to look like a movie. And I always think that's such a mistake because comics are comics. I mean, they're amazing. They're like movies without budgets. You have so many different things you can do. Aurora again, see, she's reverting back to her her school teacher, school marm, prude. You go from having Sasquatch as your boyfriend to being a nun teacher. What do you know about that? This just is bringing back a lot of great memories. Great puck cover. I mean, I love how he draws like every single pose. He's the cat's pajamas in hospital. All the nurses love him because he's so little and charming. This is, I guess, the Puck solo story, because Byrne was doing, like, the team would only come together, like, for special events. And I thought that was, like, kind of cool, because, I mean, I guess that's, in a way, like a DC thing. Like, I felt like the Justice League didn't just hang out together all the time. They only got together when they needed to. Of course, I'm probably wrong, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean. This, Byrne took a lot of slack for this. Are we already in? Oh, yeah, Snowblind. So, this is Snowbird. This, like, what was that joke about two polar bears fighting in a snowstorm? This is basically the comic book version of this. So, Byrne got paid to, I wonder if he got paid to ink these pages too, because it's just panels for like that long. Can you believe it? At least he's making up for it, like, by doing this Byrne Rubble, which is just freaking amazing with all that detail and how he draws every single little rock. But come on. Oh, maybe I could afford that. They probably go for like a weird amount of money, but I wonder how much an original page like that would go for. Please comment if you know. Some more of the background stories. Shaman, Doctor Strange. That's the best thing about the Marvel Universe too, is like they all know each other. They all, Reed Richards is their dresser. He provides all their unstable molecule outfits, so they don't have to worry about ripping the crotch of their pants out during a fight. Aurora is back, and she is pissed, and Northstar's not sure he's happy about it. I was so obsessed with the Alpha Flight and Byrne. I used to I think I drew like this costume like a million times, and it's like nothing. At least I was easily entertained, right? I always thought that was so cool how he's like she's punching this guy in the face, and there's like 20 fists there. Because the twins are speedsters. I really like the way he drew. She's so pretty, and she just looks very different from a lot of other characters. Their hair is supposed to be black, and that's just like, instead of the typical blue highlights, they have white highlights, and it goes with their costumes. And I think it's cool, and like how they have slightly pointed ears and they're slightly impish. Now see, like the guy who took over would go on to make them be not mutants, but actually elves, which makes no sense. And my God. Okay, so here's Deadly Ernest. He kills people by touching them. That would be a suck power. I think this is some exposition where if you read between the lines, you can figure out Northstar's sexuality there. Oh, it's been a while since we've had an asymmetrical 80s do. Byrne drew plenty of those in the 80s, let me tell you. He just did such a great job of capturing so many different genres within one book, I feel. Like, you know, like you've got sort of like your mystery here, then your mystical stuff, and your superhero stuff, and just your soap opera stuff. It's very much like a soap opera to me. It's like Twin Peaksy, like very David Lynch. Now, this would be another great page to have, how Aurora, I mean, this is basically a splash page, but with 4 panels on it. Nemesis, I always thought she was a cool character. There was always Byrne always made such great villains. Like, there was always such a great tragedy. Although, like, I don't know if that's going to make the best action figure, though. I want some fat cheeseball with a mafioso mustache. I don't know. Don't you hate when you have someone over for dinner and they just, like, fly out of their seat when they're finished? And here's Nemesis with her super sharp sword just slicing the bejesus out of Deadly Ernest. And then Northstar rips off her mask to reveal, oh my God, she's a redhead. I don't know what her face looks like, but Aurora's like, that's okay, girl. I got it from here. I will fly Jean Paul out of here. And then, see, some more asymmetrical 80s hair. Aurora North Star fought a lot. Maybe. I love the way Snowbird looks here. She looks like she's some hippie on a commune or something. Holy Mother of God, I saw an owl eat a mouse. That was terrifying. This is the cover I'm talking about. Wouldn't this have been so much a great cover for issue number 1? I just love this. I had this as like a silk wall hanging. I don't know if you guys ever saw those, but Marvel had these weird like silk wall hangings that I had a ton of them. And I hope they're still in an attic in Ohio or something, but I don't know. But this was a t-shirt, just the Snowbird and Shaman, and I had that because I had to have everything Alpha Flight. Patrick O'Neill, I think he was the editor. Just, some pages from the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, the headshots, the team. Byrne always drew such great headshots for the corner boxes. So great. I'd love to have that original art too. I love Aurora. Did I mention that? There's Guardian, Marina, North Star, and Puck. I mean, these characters are so freaking cool. I just love them. Sasquatch. I like Byrne's strong guys, like big guys, because they always seem to be like so big and bulky on top, like even his robots. And Snowbird, and that's it. So that is the end of Alpha Flight Classics Volume 1. I'm going to bring you number 2. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.